Warning, 30 Screams or Less may contain spoilers about movies that have recently been released. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it, come back, and enjoy the show. Or, if you don't want to waste your time watching the movie and rather have two random horror dudes watch it for you, we got you covered as well. Welcome everyone to 30 Screams or Less, a horror movie podcast where we review horror movies in 30 minutes or less. Today's movie we're going to be reviewing is called The Exorcism. It's directed by Joshua John Miller, written by M.A. Fortin and Joshua John Miller. It's starring Russell Crowe as Tony Miller, as you know, Russell Crowe from Gladiator, Ryan Simpkins as Lee Miller. She was actually in Fear Street Part 2. Sam Worthington as Joe, and he's in Avatar, both of them. And then I was only going to list the three, but now I'm going to list Adam Goldberg as well because that dude has been in everything. And he plays director Peter in this movie. So definitely some reputable names in this one. The plot of this movie is a troubled actor begins to exhibit a disturbing behavior while shooting a horror film. His estranged daughter wonders if he's slipping back into his past addictions or if there's something more sinister at play. But before we get into it, Corey, last night I was looking in the mirror and you know what? My beard was looking gnarly. And I said to myself, I can't look like this. I got to do something. So I decided to break out Beard Octane's beard wash and conditioner along with their beard oil. And dude, my beard looked amazing. I'm glad you turned me on to Beard Octane.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I've been using their products for years and I can vouch for them. And whether you're pounding IPAs or chopping wood, you got to look your best. Visit beardoctane.com and use the code 30screams10 at checkout for a 10% discount. It helps us. And like I said, the products are absolutely incredible. They're local too. They're based out of Connecticut. So help them out, support small businesses. We're not just slinging beard grooming supplies. We've been using them for a while.
Yeah, we have. With that said, 30 Screams or Less starts now. Corey, what did you think of The Exorcism?
It was a movie.
It was a movie. It was okay.
I was excited to watch this because of Russell Crowe, but this was a fart. This was a wet fart. Almost unbearable at times.
Was it a fart in church?
I was going to say that, but then I remembered this is a religious movie, so I don't know. Wouldn't be as funny.
Oh, well, I thought that was the whole point. It was like a bit of a dad joke there. So that's why I went, it's like a fart in church, which is always awkward.
Yep. Then a bunch of people just tuned out because we've been talking about farting all the time and shitting.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about any of that stuff. We're going to just jump into it and hopefully don't fucking scare our listeners off. So this movie, man, was so damn confusing because at the beginning when I wanted to check it out, I was like, is this a sequel to The Pope's Exorcist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we both had this conversation.
Numerous times. Like, I had to do a little research, a little digging. I found articles where the directors were talking about, oh, no, it's just a coincidence. They're two different movies. It's like, that's bad. That you have to actually have interviews and say, oh, no, they're two different movies. Maybe you should have got a different lead for this movie, or maybe call it something entirely different.
Yeah, it was just confusing everyone. Because the titles are very similar to The Pope's Exorcist or whatever the hell it was called.
Yep, that's what it's called.
Your same lead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was a sequel or maybe a prequel, and then you told me it was a whole different movie. I was like, okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And 1 year difference between the two movies. So that could be sequel territory.
The other one was a Netflix exclusive, right?
No, the Pope's Exorcist was in theaters. But
was it? Okay.
I don't think it did well. However, I thought it was great. I liked it. I can say I liked it infinitely more than this one.
I was going to say, much different than this one.
Yeah, the other one, obviously, he's the one performing the exorcisms. Like, he works for the Vatican. This one, he's just a struggling actor who's been cast in this horror movie where he plays a priest and obviously has to do a whole exorcism deal. So it's like The Exorcist, except I don't know. Not exactly. Not The Exorcist.
Did they ever explain how he was possessed? He was actually possessed?
You know, that kind of confused me as well. There was a lot of confusing things about this movie. So at the beginning, we saw this guy walk in, learning lines, and all of a sudden he's attacked by, I don't know what. some sort of demon. And next scene, we see Russell Crowe having a good time at his house, waiting for his daughter to come home. And I didn't realize this was going to be more of like an actor playing a priest. I thought it was going to be something like a priest and another exorcism type movie. So I don't know how he got possessed. No clue, because it was never really clear at the beginning. We just assume it was Russell Crowe, but there's nothing tying it to the demon.
He was just randomly started having episodes, and like they all thought what was he, an alcoholic or a drug addict previously?
A little bit of both.
So
Yeah.
every time he like had an episode on a movie set or something, people thought he was just like detoxing or going through withdrawals or just fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand how someone can just be possessed in these movies without any sort of explanation.
Yeah,
it just
and,
like
like,
happened.
The only time we really ever, or the first time we kind of hear that he's possessed is when he was on that movie set, and you and I looked at each other because we were like, did this dude just do a bunch of coke? Because his nose just randomly started bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. Just out of nowhere. It's like, okay, so that means he's sick, perhaps? Maybe he just did a shit ton of blow.
Forgot to mention, we are on another movie with chapters.
Oh, God.
I fucking hate it.
Oh, man, it's so dumb.
Were there 18 chapters in this movie?
Something like that, because it was like shooting day 2. I'm like, oh no, not again. What we didn't mention beforehand was we actually had a bit of a day on Saturday where we watched this movie, but we went to a tattoo convention, we went to a ball game, we had a day.
Yeah, that was a definitely. We went to lunch with your brother too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we went to lunch. It was a full day, and somehow we managed to squeeze this wet fart in the middle of it.
We had time to kill between the expo and the baseball game.
Yeah, exactly. So we decided to watch this together. It's like a rare occasion when Corey and I actually get to sit down together and watch a movie. We did it with Vile. Now we're doing it with this. Coincidentally, both movies, meh.
Yeah, we got to do better at that.
Yeah, we got to do way better. All right, so we don't know how he's possessed. Just happens. I think I could say that when it comes to possession, I've heard it's based on people who are kind of weak. Not like weak in body, but kind of weak in soul, and they're just living this kind of miserable life. So it's just like easy for the demon to hop in, slide into a person's DMs and take over their body. But this movie just right away made no sense.
No, because you and I were trying to figure out if the person in the opening scene was Russell Crowe, because to me it didn't look like him at all, but you think it was.
It has to be. That's the only way I can explain why any of this is happening, but it didn't look like him. Russell Crowe's a big guy now. He's a very big guy, so it didn't look like this ginormous person walking and learning the lines. It just looked like, I don't know, it was dark, man. It was insanely dark. You couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah, it makes sense that it was Russell Crowe, but it did not look like him. I think it was just another. Actually, wasn't Russell Crowe his replacement? Or no, he was supposed to be a replacement, right?
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be a replacement, and then someone else was going to replace him later on because he couldn't keep his shit together. But rightfully so, the dude was possessed. It's hard to keep your shit together when you're possessed.
Apparently.
But he was like a part-time possession. So like most of the day he'd be fine, and then out of nowhere at night he'd be sleepwalking and be all demon-like. And
so
then,
that was cool. The first time that like we see Tony sleepwalking, because
yeah, I got a little bit of a scare out of that.
You did. I remember I heard the fucking chair like squeak, or the couch you were sitting in.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a pretty cool jump scare in this scene too, where Lee finds her father, and was it the kitchen?
Yeah,
or
I think it
somewhere
was
in the
kitchen.
house.
Yeah, just fucking hanging out, and he's just standing there doing really nothing. I think he was saying some sort of Latin, some gibberish or whatever, and she just comes in. He's standing there, and it's like this loud sound of him just like looking at her. I don't know. It was a simple jump scare, and for some reason it got me, and I think it was the loudness of the sound that just kind of threw me off. But the overall scare of it didn't mean shit. It was just a loud noise that kind of got to me. It was, I don't know. So
The lighting was really cool in this movie too, though, and I think that might have been part of it during that scene.
yeah, the lighting was cool. There was a lot of darkness in this movie. It was very dark, and I think they did play well with that. To have that darkness, it obviously makes it that much more evil because, they're constantly just living in this like dark space. So there wasn't a lot of brightness to it. Even on set, everything else kind of looked dark as shit.
So you mentioned darkness. This very next scene where Lee is trying to find Tony in the house, and it's completely black, and the only thing she has is a flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Oh, yeah. And then at like the bottom of the stairs or some shit, he's like just standing naked in the corner pissing. Is that the one?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, cool. You know, just her walking in, her dad naked in the corner pissing. No big deal.
Naked Russell Crowe.
Naked Russell Crowe. You probably had a stunt double for that.
Maybe.
I don't know. But then we start going into like day 3 of the shoot, day 15 of the shoot, day 18 of the shoot. And they just kept breaking it up like that. It was worse than Exhuma.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So this movie was definitely weird. Yeah, she drops her phone, vision of her father naked, all that stuff. We get to day 3. The daughter comes upstairs after like hanging out with one of her friends. The father is covered in blood.
I thought he killed someone.
It looked like he did. So he looked like he fucking straight up murdered someone. There's blood everywhere. It's not like I guess maybe he cut some of his arm. Did you see that? I feel like there was a scene where like she was trying to like bandage him up a little bit because there was a lot of blood all over him. Like,
he cut his hand, I think.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think it was his hand.
Yeah, that's a lot of blood for his hand. Enough blood where you would question if he murdered someone. And he didn't. It was just him hanging out, all bloody, no big deal. And that's when it gets to shoot day 15. I'm like, oh, God, okay. So here's the bad part. When I'm asking you how much time is left in this movie.
Oh, my God. It was literally 40 minutes into the movie, and you look at me and you go, how much time is left? So I had to pause it so he could see the progress bar on the TV. 40 minutes in, and what, 20 minutes left, maybe? 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half.
And nothing had happened at this point.
It took an hour, a solid hour, for anything to happen. I think the scariest thing that we saw during that time was like the weird jump scare with Russell Crowe and the daughter, and then Peter, the director, a light almost falling on him. It's like, okay, cool. That's it. That's all we experienced in like an hour's time.
Yeah, it wasn't much at all.
Really wasn't. And this movie, man, is jam-packed with actors. There's a lot of talent in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm
surprised they got that stacked of a cast for pretty much a terrible plot.
Yeah, this movie, man, was just... You know, I would have been kicking myself if you and I went to Europe to go watch this thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't either. I mean, if they want to give us a free movie and a flight, I'll fucking take it all day. But if we have to pay to, fly to Europe to watch the movie, like, beforehand, and then just go, oh, shit, okay, we got to go home and review this thing now?
Yeah, that would be rough.
I mean, at least we get a trip out of going to the UK. That's cool.
Yeah, yep.
So I don't have $1,200 to fucking throw around on a trip. I don't know about you.
I mean, it's not that I would want to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
I'd come right back.
I'd go to the UK for, like, anything else.
Yeah.
If I want to watch a movie, I'll just watch it here.
Yeah.
Unless it was, like, some red carpet shit, man, and you and I, you have to go there, and we're going in tuxes, I'd be like, this is going to be interesting. Having us on the red carpet.
Yeah, that would be fun. I might have to consider if that were the case.
Yeah, if that were the case, absolutely. But I don't think this was that big of a deal.
So this next scene here where, was it Tony that looked at that other guy and said, show me what the priest showed you when you were 12 years old?
Oh.
It was the director that said that to Tony.
Oh. Yeah, the director said that to Tony. That was rough. There are some things you just don't mention to people, especially when they went through that shit. That's fucked. That's gaslighting all day. Using your trauma against you. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
And it put him in a different mood, that's for sure. Actually, I think that mood he was in was him being super possessed and trying to play the priest. Depossessing the other girl? I don't know. That's not the word. That is not a word.
Depossessing.
Depossessing.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to Google
I
that
got
while
another
you're talking.
one. Yeah, now we're talking depossessing, unpossessing. I don't know. Like, just exercising the girl. Blake was like a love interest of Lee. So Blake was actually the one that was playing the possessed girl in this movie within a movie. It's a movie within a movie, basically. So
Inception.
Yeah, Inception. And I'll talk about that in a second. But this scene, he's trying to be the priest and he's trying to do the exorcism. And he's clearly all fucked up because A, the director just gaslighted him, and B, he's going through possession withdrawals, I guess. I don't know. But he's super messed up. So he walks off set, and the fuckery that happens with Tony once he walks down the stairs, man, is fucking bonkers. Where, he's doing all the fucking backbending, cracky shit.
Oh, yeah. He looked like a Slender Man bending around and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, somehow he just started turning into Slender Man and just, bent himself in half. Didn't break his back or anything. Just another day at the office for demonic possession.
I'd love to know how they actually did that scene. Bend him and shit in post.
Yeah. That would be cool to know. Because you have to do, some green screen shit, I think. Or, when they put, the green dots on your face and whatever?
Mocap.
Mocap. That's it. I don't know. Maybe they do mocap? I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that kind of work. I think it'd be really cool to see.
Yep, it would be. Or talk to a director or something that's done some contortionist type stuff on a film.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to see. So, man, he walks down these stairs and he's just fucking going bonkers. The lights are flashing, everything's going crazy. People are running out of there. And this director, he must think that Tony is just an alcoholic, because he's not addressing the elephant in the room, is that Tony's fucking possessed as fuck. And he says to the other actor, Joe, who's played by Sam Worthington, we need you to save the movie. So he was thinking about having Joe come in, take over for Tony, because Tony can't keep it together. And then we actually finally see a death in this movie.
Well, the mirror scene.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Completely unexpected, too.
Absolutely unexpected. He's just sitting there doing his thing, learning his lines, and all of a sudden, good old Tony smashes through the mirror and glass in Joe's eyes, and then he just pulls his head down, and I'm assuming the glass goes in the brain.
Oh, yeah.
He was toast. Dead. Oh, yeah, toast. Uppercase.
Capital D-E-D.
Capital D-E-D, uppercase dead. So, super dead. But now this is kind of when we start to see, it's more towards the end of the movie. Things are actually starting to happen.
all the bone cracking?
Yeah, the bone cracking is finally happening, and now
that stuff. Seeing you react to that in person is hilarious.
Oh my god, I hate it.
And it was a long bone cracking scene too.
Yeah, I wonder how they do it. Do they take the bubble wrap and just twist it? You know what I mean? When you take they just twist it and it just makes a bunch of pops like that. I wonder if that's how they do it.
It's movie magic.
It's movie magic. We'd have to ask sound designers and see what they do for those scenes. For all you know, they're probably just crunching up paper.
That would be hilarious if you have a big budget movie and that's how they were creating those noises.
Yep.
We're going to actually save some of the budget and just make our own sounds.
Perfect. Easy. So, they did shit like that for Evil Dead Rise, for biting the person's eyeball. It was Bruce Campbell biting into an apple.
There's somebody, a stunt person I follow on TikTok that talks about all the stuff that's done behind the scenes to make that stuff work.
Yeah. See anything that's remotely close to this?
Well, I saw, not really, but the coolest one I saw the other day was talking about how if you have a rain scene in a movie or a pool or something and you have to make an actor look wet, they use some kind of jelly so it looks slimy or looks wet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways that they do it.
So that way, people who are can't get as wet, they look extra wet?
Yeah, because they need to be dry for filming.
Right. Okay. So, what an interesting take.
I did see he did a lot of stuff for The Walking Dead when it was on, so he talks a lot about the sound design for that.
Oh, I bet that's cool.
Yeah, how they make the crunching eyeball sounds, and yeah, it's cool. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out. Did you know that they were doing some, well, not Walking Dead, but Fear of the Walking Dead? No, not Fear of the Walking City of the Walking Dead? What is it called? What are we on now?
What do you mean? There's so many.
I know. So they were filming.
You have the Daryl Dixon show.
Oh, the Daryl Dixon show? Is that a sketch comedy show?
Yes. No, it's a late night show.
Late night show with Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
Perfect. That would be interesting. I'd watch that.
Well, someone's going to steal that. Probably Norman Reedus himself.
Yeah, Norman Reedus listens, and he's going to be like, I like this idea. I'm going to pitch it to my agent.
Yeah.
So they were actually filming some Walking Dead stuff in Massachusetts recently.
Recently?
Very recently. A couple weeks ago.
Where?
Lowell.
Like what, in the little town?
Like there was a portion of Lowell that had like this really old church, and it's like the Highlands or whatever, and they were fucking filming there.
Interesting. How'd you find that out?
My aunt sends me this stuff. She'll send me some posts on Facebook, and I'm like, oh shit, look at that. I know where that is. I used to live down the road. It's cool to see that, and part of me wanted to be there just so I could be like, you know what? I wonder if I can get on this and be an extra.
Actually, I'm looking at it now. You're right. It was a month ago.
Yeah, Negan was on it, and probably a few other people. I know Negan was there. What is it? Walking Dead. I have to look this up now because it's going to drive me freaking crazy. Oh, The Walking Dead, Dead City.
Whatever it is, it's season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I didn't even know that there was a first season.
Yeah, I fell off from all of that. I stopped watching after maybe a couple episodes after Negan started bashing heads in with a baseball bat. After that, everyone was like just super depressed and like super crying all the time. And I'm like, you can't pull this shit in the zombie apocalypse. No one's going to be there to, be your crying shoulder. You have to watch your ass constantly. Just crying all the time.
Are you familiar with Merrimack Street in Lowell?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know exactly where that is. Yeah, we've played shows on that street.
Is that where Tafeta is?
No, that's down the road from what's the Blue Shamrock, or actually Gemstones. It's called Gemstones. Do you remember that they used to have like shows upstairs? I don't think you ever went to a show upstairs there.
I don't either.
So it's downtown Lowell, and I've been there a slew of times, and so I knew exactly where that was. And I thought that would have been really cool to check out, but I just couldn't get down to it.
Oh well.
Yeah, whatever. They'll be back.
Nobody watches it anyway.
Guess not. So,
about as many people watch that show as listen to this podcast.
Damn. And they get the big budget. Well, can I have some of that budget? Can we have some of that budget? Because they clearly have the budget to be filming this shit. I mean, Negan.
Yeah, because it's FX, I think, right?
No, AMC.
AMC, okay.
Yeah, AMC.
It's been so long since I didn't watch The Walking Dead like up until when Rick left the show, and then I never watched anything else again.
Yeah, I watched actually that episode where it was Rick's last episode. I watched that one because I was like, I have to watch it. I bet everyone needed that closure of him at least dying off because everyone's dead at that point. Shane is gone. Coral is gone.
Get in the house, Coral.
Yeah. The wife gone. The baby, I think, is still there. And Michonne is the caretaker. But
the craziest thing about that is that was like 6 or 7 years ago or something like that.
Oh, man, I know, right?
And it's still going. It just ended, but...
Yeah. You know what? I think I really fell off when I saw a fucking lion pop up. I'm like, okay. This is a little...
That was Ezekiel's a tiger.
Yes, that's right, the tiger. And I get it. Ezekiel's in the comic books. But
yeah, and he had a pet tiger.
He had a pet tiger, yeah.
Shiva.
Yeah. I just found it silly. It was just just super silly. So we're talking about a movie, though. So we should circle back.
We just went on a tangent and we were talking about a movie that we liked.
At least we're still talking about...
No, we didn't like it, actually. What are we talking about?
We didn't like this now. I mean, at least we're talking about horror stuff, though. We're not going off on a tangent on porridge or corn or nothing. We're still in the horror realm. So we're keeping it close this time.
All right.
So where are we?
We did not talk about face smashing.
Oh, no, we didn't. So you're right. The face smashing, because he was straight up pulling a long legs deal.
Yep. Just bashing his head on the table for a long time.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he didn't look like Red Skull at all. He just kept he just kept smashing his face. And I'm like, where's the blood?
Yeah.
He's just like putting a dent in that fucking table and nothing. No gore, nothing there.
Because he's a demon.
That's right. But was that the scene the same time where he was doing all the crackly stuff? Like he did the cracking and then started face smashing?
I guess it's possible. I don't remember specifically.
Yeah, for the most part, I don't really remember. Honestly, a lot of this movie is just nothing really to talk about it other than like what you're hearing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really memorable, but we'll go into our full final review of this, but we'll just go into the rest of it. So Blake gets a call, finds out that Joe is dead, and Lee is there to console her. So the two of them are in an embrace. They start making out. They're having fun. So Tony walks in, ruining the moment, and now he starts going into demon mode where he's trying to fight them, and Blake, she fights back, hits him with, what was it, a pan or something? I don't remember. Whatever. She hits him with something. What?
No way. I said no way. I don't remember either. I don't remember this part at all.
You don't remember that part? You must have been fucking tuned out, man.
Was this for the priest versus priest face-off?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's what I was, in my brain, that's where we're going next, after the mirror scene.
Priest versus
apparently
priest.
I missed a part.
I guess so. This sounds a lot like Celebrity Deathmatch, by the way. Priest versus priest.
Yep.
So they're fighting with Tony, the two girls. And Tony just up and out of nowhere goes to this window. By the way, he has a really nice-ass apartment. It's like in a high-rise. It's got like this whole brick window. It looks like it's straight out of the fucking Crow. You know, it's
yeah,
like
it was a pretty cool apartment.
Yeah.
And he jumped out the window.
He jumped out the window, and we thought end scene fade to black, almost like the coffee table.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be that kind of situation where falls out, he's dead, movie's over. No.
Chapter 24 starts next.
Chapter 24. It wasn't even chapter 24, but I'm thinking it's chapter 450.
It's close to one of those, because fuck, this movie dragged.
Yeah, this movie dragged, and it was just boring. Okay, so next up, we see the priest is saying a prayer. Okay, by the way, there was an on-set priest. And that's why we're saying priest versus priest, was because there was the on-set priest, and then there was Tony, who was portraying a priest in the movie. That's why we mean priest versus priest. So the on-set priest was saying a prayer to the girls. The room gets dark. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh shit, is that on-set priest a demon like the whole time? No, just a regular ass priest somehow starts having this one-on-one battle with fucking Tony. Tony's back, by the way. Tony came back from the dead. This is what I don't get, Corey. This makes no sense. Because obviously he's uppercase DED dead, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonzo.
Yeah, he's gonzo. He jumped out of the fucking window. There was cop cars and shit. So what did he do? Did he
turned into a bat and flew away?
Yeah, he must have turned into a bat, flew away, escaped the morgue, goes back to the set because, he's a method actor, so he has to go back. And now we see Lee and Blake, they're kind of like in this Lotus type position, eyes grayed out. The priest starts having a one-on-one talk with Tony, who's back from the dead, I guess. Oh, God. I guess it's so fucking stupid. I'm so confused even just saying
about it.
Yeah, because there's this ginormous plot hole. Ginormous. It's gaping. It's Mariana's Trench. It's fucking wide, dude.
Hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah, it's a hot dog down a hallway wide plot hole. Tony jumps out the window. We assume he's dead because the police were interviewing the daughter. Clearly, he has to be dead. Otherwise, he would have just jumped out the window, turned into a bat or some shit, and nothing would have happened. The cops don't interview girls on her father's dying for no fucking reason whatsoever. So if the body is dead, Demon's got nothing to friggin' possess at this point. So how the hell did he come back?
I don't know. We got a black screen. We'll never know.
Yeah. So I don't understand how Tony's even back from the dead. Like I said, there's only one explanation, is that he fell out the window and turned into a fucking bat.
He just flew away.
Just flew away.
He's living in a clock tower now.
Yeah, he's fucking Quasimodo over there. So Russell Crowe is now Quasimodo and a priest and dead and demonic. I'm fucking ruining this movie for these people. Or making it better.
We're supposed to sell movies to people, not make them not want to watch. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Half the shit we say, people probably don't want to watch what we're talking about.
No, exactly. That's the whole point of this podcast, is we watch this shit so people don't have to. And now this priest is doing his thing. He's trying to actually take the demon out of Tony, and he'll bear the demon. So kind of like a body transfer, right? So that's what he's trying. But I still can't wrap my head around how Tony's even fucking there to begin with.
We'll find out in the Exorcism 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Nice.
No, they got to name it something similar to the Pope's Exorcist and this, just to keep fucking confusing people.
I would expect nothing less. So they get the demon out of Tony, and it's in the other priest. Now they're trying to do an exorcism on the on-set priest. It's not working really. So they end up, I guess, setting him on fire just by some prayers. Like Tony all of a sudden is like the Uber priest and he knows all the sayings or all the scripture and sets this fucking person on fire. Demons inside. And that's it. He embraces his daughter, says he loves her. Next up, he goes to confession and the daughter has long black hair now. She looks all different. He keeps saying grace at the end. And then it's like end scene, fade to black.
We were really confused when it just ended like that.
Yeah.
There was nothing that wrapped up the story or anything. It just ended.
Yep. So we don't know. Like, you would think that he would be questioned for the murder of Joe. You would think that he'd just be completely dead to begin with because he fell out a fucking window. None of it makes sense at all. I don't know what the hell they were thinking.
I don't know, man. I really don't care either.
I really don't care either. I say we just get into it. Corey, what do you give The Exorcism?
So I actually originally had this at a 3 out of 5 before we started talking about this tonight, and I'm going to drop it down to a 2.
Ooh, that's a plot twist right there.
I'm so glad we didn't fly to the UK for the private screening of this we were invited to. I'm thankful we got the invite, but I would have been kind of so upset if we got to watch this, as we talked about before, paid a bunch of money to go over there and watch a movie and then come back.
Yep.
This isn't getting a 1 star for me only because Russell Crowe is a legend and he was really great in every scene he was in. Otherwise, this was fucking forgettable.
Yeah, this is quite the forgettable movie. Fuck, man, you got me tempted on changing my score. But
yeah, so we were just talking, and I'm like, wow, I really didn't like this.
I didn't like it either, man. I think there were 2 times where we checked how much time is left in this movie, and it was only an hour and a half. It's a fucking short movie. It's not like 2-hour type ordeal. It is literally an hour and a half. Spot on, or something close to it. So, I might stick with my score, and it's solely because of the actors that are involved in this movie, because they're great actors. But overall, the story was fucking weird and didn't make any sense. So I think I'm going to stick with a 3 out of 5 for this one. For an hour, nothing happened other than minor jump scares. I love a lot of Russell Crowe movies, and he's a super talented actor. Even with all the star power of Crowe, Worthington, and Goldberg, all of which have been in some incredible movies and are super talented actors, couldn't make this movie remotely interesting.
Flop.
Absolute flop. And that has nothing to do with them. It's the writing. So I think having Russell Crowe in this movie was a bad selection, not because of his acting. I mean, the guy is an Academy and Golden Globe winner, but because a year prior was The Pope's Exorcist. So I felt this choice of lead caused a ton of confusion with marketing, and The Pope's Exorcist, as I mentioned before, is infinitely better anyways. So overall, as Corey said, this movie's pretty forgettable. So it just didn't do it for me, man.
Yep. It's over.
Yeah, I gave it a little extra credit because of the actors involved. Because great actors. I love Russell Crowe. Sam Worthington is in both Avatars, which I love. I love Avatars.
I never watched the second one.
It's good. Good, not great. If you got like 4 hours to fucking kill.
No, that's why I haven't watched the Justice League director's cut, because I don't want to do that.
Actually, I think it's like a little over 3 hours for Avatar, honestly. It's like watching Monday Night Raw, which you don't have time for that either.
No, it's just I don't want to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Avatar 2, 3 hours, 12 minutes. So it's a long one. I thought it was good, but it's a long watch. So if you got time one day and you're just dicking around, maybe throw it on.
No, don't.
Or don't, I guess.
You don't.
Did you know I have Avatar on Blu-ray, like in 2 different versions?
No, I didn't.
Well, now you do.
Why?
So, like I said, I love Avatar. I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Someone bought me one version of Avatar, and then another person bought me another version of Avatar. Both have different types of special features. So I'm like, all right, well, they're technically 2 different deals, so I'll take them. So I have 2 Avatars in my DVD rack there, or Blu-ray rack. It's Blu-ray. I'm not going to watch that shit on regular DVD. You kidding me?
Yeah, I know. You kind of can't. I think that was like one of the first 4K movies I watched. The first one.
Yeah, that thing was awesome looking. I wish I saw it in theaters, like especially IMAX. I bet that would have been nuts. Like the flying scenes at one of those IMAX theaters would be crazy.
I want to see a movie in 4D.
Is that where they just have all sorts of shit going on?
Yeah, so like the one I've been hearing about lately is Twisters. People are seeing Twisters in 4D because it's you get sprayed with water, your chairs are shaking, like stuff like that.
Oh, okay, so that's like at Disney. Disney did a lot of that shit.
I don't know if we have any theaters that do it around here, but
I don't know. I remember one time I went on this Lilo and Stitch ride at Disney, and it's like a 4K movie deal. So, like, the video is in front of you. Stitch is doing his thing. He's running all over the place, and you feel him running underneath your legs. I don't know what they do, like whether they quickly tickle the back of your legs or something with hair, but it feels like he's running past you, and then they're spraying water at you because he's, like, breaking shit, like water containers and stuff. It's a fun experience to see the 4K, not 4K, see the 4D theater shit.
Sounds fun.
It is fun.
I'm surprised like Jordan's doesn't do it that I know of anyway.
No, they just do the giant screen and like the butt kicker seats that they call them.
Butt kicker seats, okay.
Yeah, it's really just basing the seats. So if an explosion happens, it's like you just feel it all the way in your gut.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which, it's fun. I enjoy it. I saw some freaking awesome movies there, man. I saw 300 there. That was nuts.
That'd be cool to see there.
That was cool. I mean, I saw Dark Knight, which almost a requirement to see that at the big-ass IMAX, Jordan's IMAX. And what else did I see there? Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange. That scene where she goes, open your mind, like, and she touches his, like, third eye. Mm-hmm. And he just goes into this crazy fucking vortex and everything's all fucking trippy. I'm glad I didn't take Eddie's before that scene.
That actually would have been hilarious if you did.
I would have lost my mind, man. I would have been a mess. But I do love going to the theaters. You and I, we started going to the theaters now. It's really cool when we get to see like independent films there.
Yeah, I really hope they start doing more. Still trying to get Stream there.
Yeah, just walk in, kick the door open, and just be like, listen, I know the director. And you have to...
He was supposed to talk to his like distribution person. I talked to him the other day. He was going to talk to his distribution person to get it in Londonderry.
That would be awesome. I would definitely check it out. And then we have to promote the shit out of it.
I would love to. I'm really excited for that movie and Terrifier 3 this year.
Of course. We should have a stream party. Like, if we get it into the Londonderry theater, right? We should have a stream party. We'll just get as many people as we can to go, and we'll fucking buy up the whole theater.
Okay, I'm down.
I like this idea.
I'm sure they'd love that.
I bet they would think that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you and I fill up a theater of people and a bunch of horror fans just watching it.
Yeah, I'm down.
I like this idea. All right, everyone, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on all podcast platforms so we can get some more exposure. Of course, tell your friends. Both our intro and outro music are courtesy of Andrew Scott Bell. Be sure to check out Andrew on all major streaming platforms. And if you see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey on vinyl in the wild, be sure to pick it up. We're also part of the Shining Wizards Network. Be sure to visit shiningwizardsnetwork.com. They're an awesome podcast network ranging from wrestling to heavy metal, horror, all that good stuff. So check that out. Visit 30screamsorless.com for all previous episodes and transcripts to go with those episodes. Also, check out beardoctane.com for their whole line of grooming supplies. And be sure to use the code 30screams10 at checkout for 10% off your order. And if there's anything you want us to review, send an email to 30screamsorless@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Use hashtag 30screamsorless. And also, we have some awesome merch for sale on our website, so definitely check that out. If you go to our website, at the very top, there's a shop link. Click that link, and you'll see all sorts of shirts, hats, mugs, things like that. If you buy it, it helps going towards our hosting costs. I'm Steve.
I'm Corey.
And thanks for listening to 30 Screams or Less. And don't forget to drink your beans.